Let me tell you a brutal truth that your teachers, your parents, and even your so-called toppers will never admit out loud. Getting an A+ has almost nothing to do with talent and everything to do with systemized cheating of the brain. Yes, I said it. But wait, don't grab your pitchfork just yet. I'm not talking about breaking school rules. I'm talking about breaking the rules of the average mind and turning your brain into a machine so sharp, so fast, and so untouchable, your classmates will start whispering behind your back, "How is this person even human?" And here's the scary part. Once you understand these 7 techniques, it becomes almost unfair how easy it is to dominate exams, absorb books like a sponge, and make teachers think you're some reincarnated Einstein when, in reality, you just rewired your study strategy like a genius-level hacker. Still think study is boring? Still waiting for motivation? Still saying, "I'll start tomorrow"? Let me ask you this. Did tomorrow ever show up when you told yourself you'd stop scrolling Instagram? Nope, because you're still programmed like a donkey pulling the cart of average results. But I'm here to flip the switch, because if you're listening to this, you're not average. You're just miswired. And today we're going to fix that. Let's be real for a second. Do you really think toppers love waking up early, love solving boring math problems, love repeating definitions till their brain turns into mashed potatoes? Absolutely not. They just cracked a formula for psychological manipulation of their own brain. That's what these 7 study techniques are. They don't just help you study, they force your brain to obey you. It's like installing a secret backdoor into your mind where focus, memory, and speed become your slaves. Sound dramatic? It island, but it also works. You see, every time you try to study and fail, it's not because you're lazy. It's because you're using tools made for normal people. People who settle. People who score 62nd and feel proud. People who brag about studying all night and still forget half the syllabus. But you're about to become the mental assassin in the classroom. Silent, sharp, unstoppable. Like a monk with a laptop. And don't worry, you won't need a fancy app, expensive tuition, or 20 cups of coffee. You'll just need to uninstall the brainwashing school accidentally gave you and replace it with the genius code I'm about to reveal. Fair warning though, after this video, your excuses will die a painful death. Because once you learn how to make your brain memorize like a machine, focus like a monk, and attack chapters like a predator, you'll realize one thing. It was never about intelligence, it was always about control. So if you're ready to stop begging your brain for attention and start commanding it like a general commanding troops, then welcome. Because the 7 genius-level study techniques I'm about to give you, they aren't optional. They're non-negotiable if you want to become an A+ student and leave mediocrity in the dust. Let's begin. 1. The 20-minute brain lock. Your focus ritual. Let's kill a myth first. You don't need 3 hours to study. You need 20 minutes of pure, savage, undistracted focus. That's it. Because your brain doesn't learn in long marathons, it learns in sprints. Ever notice how you can scroll TikTok for 2 hours without blinking, but studying 15 minutes feels like dying inside? Here's the manipulation. Before you study, trap your brain into obsession with a ritual. Same place, same time, same action. Light a candle, play a specific sound, even wear a weird cap if it helps. Why? Because repetition rewires neurons, and your brain goes, "Oh, it's that candle again. Guess we're about to do the serious stuff." Now pair this with 20-minute sprints using the Pomodoro technique, but add this brain twist. Before the timer starts, tell yourself, "I only have to suffer for 20 minutes. I'll scroll after that." The timer starts and something magical happens. Your brain stops resisting. You break the initial friction. You enter a flow trap, and most of the time, you'll continue beyond 20 minutes without even realizing it. This is no motivation trick. It's mental engineering. The more you repeat this ritual, the more your brain gets addicted to it. Soon, your body will literally crave study time like it craves junk food. This is what toppers unknowingly master. They train their brain to demand deep focus, while others train their brain to crave distractions. 2. Teach it to a ghost. The Feynman execution method. Here's where most students go wrong. They think understanding is enough. Let me break your brain with this. If you can't explain it like you're teaching it to a 6-year-old or to a ghost that doesn't even speak your language, you don't really understand it. Enter the Feynman execution method. Named after Nobel Prize-winning physicist Richard Feynman, this isn't just about studying, it's about dominating information. Here's how it works. Step 1. Learn a topic. Step 2. Close your books. Now explain that topic out loud, without notes. Step 3. Struggle. Freeze. Sweat. Realize you know nothing. Step 4. Learn the gaps. Step 5. Repeat until your explanation sounds like a YouTuber teaching a monkey. When you teach something, your brain is forced to organize, compress, and simplify the mess. That's when memory sticks. Not when you highlight lines like a coward and think, "Wow, I'm productive." This technique turns passive readers into active beasts. It transforms forgettable knowledge into permanent recall. So next time you study, imagine your dumb cousin, or your dog, or your dead grandma sitting in front of you waiting for you to explain gravity or cell division. If they don't get it, you don't get it. That's when real learning begins. 3. The reverse study map. Burn the book, build the brain. Most students open a book and start reading from page 1 like it's a bedtime story. Let me be honest, that's peasant behavior. Here's what elite learners do. They flip the entire process upside down. Instead of reading and hoping to remember, they create a reverse study map, a blank page with the topic written in the center. From there, they guess the branches, subtopics, formulas, theories, exceptions. They dump everything they know before even opening the book. Why? Because when your brain tries to guess, it creates friction. That friction triggers curiosity. Curiosity triggers memory. And memory? That's your academic weapon. After mapping, they open the book not to study, but to correct their own mind. Suddenly, reading becomes 3x faster because you already have a skeleton. Now you're just adding meat to it. This flips you from passive absorber to active constructor. And guess what? Construction workers remember what they build. Readers forget what they skim. So next time, burn the idea of reading chapter by chapter. Instead, map first, study second, dominate third. 4. Emotional anchoring. Make your brain need to remember. Here's a dirty trick your brain plays on you. It only remembers what it emotionally cares about. That's why you still remember your embarrassing moment in 6th grade, but not the Pythagorean theorem. So here's how to fight back. Attach emotion to your subjects. Use exaggeration, humor, fear, drama, whatever makes your brain feel. Studying biology? Don't just read, "Mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell." Say, "If mitochondria dies, the cell dies. If the cell dies, you die." So basically, mitochondria is your boss. Suddenly, it sticks. Studying history? Don't just memorize dates, create mental movies. Imagine kings as mafia bosses, battles as gang wars, treaties as breakup texts. The more you emotionally exaggerate, the deeper the memory sticks. You can even pair this with weird body movements. Raise your eyebrow every time you say a law. Tap your chest when you solve a math step. Your brain starts linking movement with memory. It's called kinesthetic anchoring, and yes, it works like witchcraft. Emotion is the glue of memory. If your study session feels like dry toast, your brain will flush it out. But add flavor? It stores it for life. 5. The blur technique. Study what you can't see. Here's something few students realize. The real test of knowledge is how much you can recall when there's nothing in front of you. So here's a brutal practice method. Close the book. Blur it. Force recall. After each paragraph, shut the book and ask, "What did I just read?" Write it, say it, sketch it, whatever works. You'll fail, you'll hate it. But that's the point. Because each time you strain your brain to remember, you strengthen the retrieval pathways. That's what builds long-term memory. This is called active recall, and it's the #1 scientifically proven study technique on the planet. But most students skip it because it feels hard. Guess what? Toppers don't. Every blur moment feels like pain. But in that pain, neurons are being wired. And when exams come, you'll laugh, because you've already answered the questions 50 times in your own head. Passive reading gives you illusions. Blur recall gives you results. 6. The 1% daily rule. Compound study effect. Everyone wants to study 5 hours a day starting tomorrow, and then they fail for 5 months straight. Let me tell you a genius cheat. Forget perfection. Focus on 1% daily growth. This means Day 1. Study for 15 minutes. Day 2. 16 minutes. Day 3. 17 minutes. In 30 days, you're doing more than anyone who tried grinding 5 hours from day 1. Why does this work? Because the brain adapts to tiny pressure better than massive force. It builds consistency, discipline, and most importantly, identity. You don't need motivation when something becomes your identity, and you don't become a scholar overnight. You become one when your subconscious believes, studying is what I do. The 1% rule rewires your self-image slowly but surely. And that's more powerful than any overnight hack. Start small, grow consistently, and one day people will call you a genius. But you'll know the truth. You just moved 1% every single day. 7. Brainwashing before sleep. The midnight upload technique. Here's a scary fact. Whatever you feed your brain right before sleep gets processed 10x deeper than anything you studied during the day. That's because the hippocampus, your memory processing center, is most active while you're dreaming. So here's your hack. Before bed, spend just 10 minutes reviewing what you studied. Not solving, not reading, just lightly visualizing and mentally walking through the concepts. If you studied history, mentally replay the war scenes. If you studied physics, walk through the equations like you're narrating them. Even better, whisper it like a bedtime story. Then sleep. What happens? Your brain begins to replay the information during REM cycles. It literally uploads the data into long-term storage, like putting your thoughts on Google Drive while you snore. Do this every night, and within weeks, you'll notice that you remember better in your sleep than in your wake. That's not magic. That's science, used correctly. So now tell me this. Which of these 7 brain hacks felt like it exposed your entire lazy study life? Be honest. Was it the reverse study map? The 20-minute brain lock? Or the one where you whisper science to yourself like a bedtime story? Drop it in the comments. Just say, "Number 4 hit me like a truck," or "I'm trying number 6 tonight. Wish me luck." Don't overthink it. Just type. Because reading your comments is the only homework I actually enjoy. And hey, don't forget to subscribe. Links in the comments. Now go rewire your brain and scare your classmates.